All right. Hi, Vaishnavi, once again.
Hi, Lavanya.
Hi. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for spending this kind of time with me and answering a couple of questions that I have, which will
Mhm.
definitely be helpful for all the students who want to go and take their IELTS examination.
Sure.
Right? So this tete-a-tete or this talk actually is divided into three segments. The first segment, I'm going to talk to you about, the preparation aspect of it. Then I will speak to you about how, in the examination center, how did they maintain all the precautions and how students do not really need to worry. And then moving on, we'll speak about your entire test. So that's how I've divided this, conversation. So let's start off by talking about your training and self-study aspect. So my first question to you would be, how much time did you spend to study for IELTS and prepare for?
Um, yeah. Okay. So I started my preparation way back in May because I had classes with you in the month of May,
Yeah.
and then I wanted to actually appear in the month of June or July. So I booked a slot with you in the month of May, but then due to COVID, because the slots were not available, it got pushed. And because of my busy work schedule, I lost touch. I didn't study for a month or so. And then when I decided to give it in September, I dedicated most of my time in August
Right.
for IELTS because I already took classes with you, and I was preparing now and then. I didn't lose any touch with the concepts. I
Mm-hmm.
knew all the modules and I was aware of everything. I just had to polish and practice more, which I did. And on weekends, I used to spend like 6 to 7 hours a day. And then because I didn't take any leaves from work, I didn't take any off from work for
Mm-hmm.
the months of March to June. I had so many leaves,
Mm-hmm.
so I utilized those leaves. I took off for like a week completely from office before the examination, and 1 and 2 leaves here and there. So I had dedicated time for IELTS only for
Super.
hours and hours.
Super.
If I was working on any particular day, I would spend at least 3 hours.
Oh, great. So you
Yeah.
actually spent that kind of time, you dedicated that kind of time along with your work schedule. And if you
Exactly.
did not, work on a particular day, the days you took holiday, you spent about 6 hours
Yes, or more.
or more. That's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing. And
yeah.
I think that's the kind of dedication one must have. What do you say? You know, because
Yeah.
to be very honest, a lot of students actually come to me and they say, hey, we're taking the training with you, but we don't really get that kind of time to study. Is it really necessary to study other than training? What do you think about that?
Lavanya, I'll be very honest with you. I had taken IELTS test before as well. So before I thought maybe along with my work schedule, I'll be able to manage IELTS, and I did. I used to spend like 3 to 4 hours in a day for IELTS after my work.
Mm-hmm.
But then I used to be worked up and stressed out because I used to work for like 12 hours and then dedicating 3 to 4 hours for IELTS. I was giving my time, but then I think the knowledge was not getting into my head, or I
Mm-hmm.
was really worked up. So however, I struggled. I gave my test, but then I lost it in the writing with
Mm-hmm.
0.5. Other modules were good.
Okay.
With writing, I lost it. So then I decided that whenever I'm going to reappear, I have to make sure that I give proper time to IELTS, because that is my future. I see my future, and IELTS is like a gate pass. So if you are spending time, that means you are investing in your future, which is really important. I
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I was like, I took off from my work and I made sure that I had enough time so I don't repent or regret after I see my results that maybe I should have spent some more time.
Correct.
while preparation. So I made sure that I don't regret and
Right.
give everything to my preparation.
You know, that is basically the mindset, isn't it? So
Yeah.
we all in general, we look at the future, we are like, yeah, we're going to go abroad and that's going to be amazing, but the preparation time is somehow not taken as seriously, right? And I
Yeah.
think this
Correct.
what you just mentioned right now is so important. Invest in
Yeah.
yourself, because
Yeah.
we don't understand that aspect. We only think, hey,
Yeah.
it's the future that we are looking at, but if you don't invest now, uh, we are just going to end up repenting and regretting in the future. You know, so
Yeah.
that's such a beautiful thing you just mentioned.
Yeah, but
Vaishnavi.
that doesn't mean that I was stressing myself, of course, because this journey is very stressful and you really need to maintain that balance
Correct.
to have the calm mind, right?
Correct.
So on the days when I was not working or whatever, I used to take one whole day break. I
Okay.
used that whole day of break, I would watch something funny or something which would make me happy, but in English. I used to
Right.
watch some comedy American series or maybe some talk shows or some TED talks or whatever,
Super.
which wouldn't give me stress but would be educative, and unconscious or subconsciously I would pick some words from it. So
Right.
I did that.
That is amazing. And I think
I
that's
did some fun learning.
fun learning, exactly,
Yeah.
right? And that's what we all want to actually. And even as a trainer, that's something I want to definitely share with students, that even when I say, like I also used to mention earlier that, hey, why don't you watch some series? And I keep telling that to students, and they don't understand, why are we made to watch series, why are we made to read books? But like you said, you pick some words, you pick up some words, and you
Yeah.
sort of
Correct.
store
Yeah.
it in your mind, and that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And my question to you now is, some of them who come to me before they join, obviously, they are always a little worried, confused, and they're like, hey, do we really need training? Why is it, I mean, it's okay if I do it on my own. What's the big deal? It's just another language. It's an English language examination. How difficult is it going to be? So according to you, you've taken the test earlier without training, and then we work together, and I mean, I want you to tell me, is it necessary for somebody to go through a little bit of training, or it's okay for somebody to sort of work without it?
Well, I had the similar mindset and I really worked hard. But however, there has to be somebody who is giving you the feedback.
Hmm.
For example, I was working hard, but who is going to tell me if I'm working hard in the correct direction or not, if I'm
Right.
investing in correct things or not? So I missed that part when I was preparing, when I gave my test for the first time. So this time, I really wanted somebody to give me feedback, to tell me how am I doing,
Right.
or the areas of improvement or development. So uh, we both connected, and I
Yeah.
think having the feedback is very important. Even you might be what you say, an English honors or a literary person or whatever, but you end of the day you need feedback.
Right. Because that's when you know if I'm in the right direction or not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And I was desperately in need for somebody to give me feedback.
Right.
And I think if I compare my preparation from then to now, this time it was strategic.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I was doing. I was not blindly going and watching whatever videos I can or practicing whatever I can. I had a proper template in my head. I had a schedule,
Mm-hmm.
so I worked accordingly.
Superb. I mean, I know that you worked really hard because of the kind
Yeah,
of, what do you say, your inputs on the group, on the community, WhatsApp community that I have, and on, the small WhatsApp program that I conducted. I saw that kind of dedication come from your end, and that was amazing.
yeah.
And I knew
So
at the back of my head that, she's working really, really hard, and that's
yeah,
amazing.
and also I would like to encourage people to what I did was before maybe I was 20 days away from the exam
Mm-hmm.
test. By then I was aware of everything. However, I made sure that I had proper plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
So I made this little schedule, if you can see,
Could
from
probably
August.
slightly closer to the camera, and I'm also going to ask you
Yeah.
to take a screenshot of this.
So from August 21st to September 12th, which was my exam.
Uh-huh.
So I had things jotted down, and I worked on it. Or there are days, if you can see, on days where I didn't prepare. So
Correct.
on maybe Wednesday or maybe 1st of September or here,
Right.
these were the days where I was taking the time off.
Good. And it's
Yeah,
important, right, to also take some time off rather than just
yeah,
cramping yourself with too much information.
yeah, true. Yeah,
Vaishnavi, that
and
is
I
such
would
a
also,
beautiful structure that you've just shown me, and I want to also share it
yeah,
with my other students. So
yeah.
I would be very, very happy if you can share a picture of that as
Uh, sure. It is all scribbled and not really like pretty, but however, if it is helpful, I will definitely show it to
please,
people.
please do. I'm sure. And hey, come on, that it doesn't matter if it's scribbled, but we need the structure, right? And that's something
Yeah,
which, in general, helps us reach our goal.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
superb. I'm so
So,
glad, Vaishnavi, that you shared so much information in terms of
yeah,
preparation and how important that phase is.
yeah.
Moving on to scheduling your examination, I would first of all, did you register with British Council or IDP?
I registered with British Council. I
Okay,
wanted to go for IDP, but then because I already given with British Council, I was aware of what it would be like, and I was acquainted with the
right,
policies and all. So I
right.
thought it's better to go with something I'm familiar with.
Absolutely. Also, of course, there is no difference, like I've always mentioned, whether it's IDP or a British Council. I just want to know, in terms of the precautions that British Council takes, or any test center, examination center takes during such testing times.
Um, so we were only, because on the usual test day you would see hundreds of people attending the test,
Mhm.
hundreds of them.
Okay.
And this time it was only hardly 30 people in my hall.
Okay.
So the procedure of the security checks and everything was smooth.
Mhm.
They were maintaining like a 1 arm distance or a 1 or 2 meter distance in the queue.
Okay.
It was all good. Even the biometric thing where you need to give your fingerprint, they were asking you to sanitize. They were asking us to sanitize our fingers and then put our index finger on the biometric.
Okay.
So the precautions were taken, and they asked us to wear the mask throughout the security checks.
Mhm.
However, and also during the examination.
Okay.
However, it is not possible to have the mask on for 3 hours.
Right.
So I was taking the liberty in removing the mask and then writing and then putting it back.
Okay, so
So
that you could like breathe comfortably and also
exactly,
focus.
yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah,
also good information, because
yeah.
sometimes students are so worried that, hey, do I need to wear the mask the
It is
entire
it
test?
is very suffocating, Lavanya. It was truly suffocating. But then they were also empathic. I mean, like they understood the situation, so they didn't force us to keep our masks on for like continuously
Okay,
3 hours. So every now
good.
and then I
So,
was
okay,
removing
so it's
them.
safe to go ahead and take the examination. There's no
Yes, yes.
problem.
The furniture, the table or the chair or the headset,
Mm-hmm.
it was all well sanitized. And
Okay,
I saw there was some disinfectant machine which was running in the hall.
okay, okay.
So
That's
I
nice.
mean,
So
yeah.
this is
So
something, well, now this being the new normal, seeing something like that, especially giving that sort of confidence to the students also matters a lot. Otherwise, under that stress, it becomes difficult to write the exam, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
true,
Okay,
true.
wonderful. Now let's move on to my third segment, where I'm going to ask you about your examination completely. Could you start by telling me how your experience was with the listening and reading module, and then I'll ask you a couple of questions about the other two modules.
Sure. Listening module was because I practiced a lot of listening, a lot. I mean, I can't even tell you how many tests I've taken, mock
Mm-hmm.
tests. So the mini Ielts link which you shared, it
Mm-hmm.
was really good. I mean, just by sitting in my room or whatever, the 10 minutes tests, whatever I took,
Right.
it became like a habit for me. So if I'm not on my study table, I would sit anywhere else in the room and I would like, okay, I have time, let me just give one mini IELTS.
Okay.
So it would take hardly some 10 minutes or 6 minutes or 14 minutes.
Correct.
But then you are getting your portion of practice for that day or for that
Absolutely.
time, for that hour. So I did a lot of mini IELTS and then IELTS online mock tests, and the Canvas also really helped.
Right.
So basically, on the test day, the preparation helped me,
Mhm.
and I was able to understand the different accents. I didn't find it difficult to understand it.
Okay.
uh, uh, Fortunately, I didn't have a map
Okay, great.
or a or a diagram. I just
Okay.
had a flow chart of some procedure, some
Okay.
procedural flow chart. So
Okay.
listening was good.
Okay.
um, Reading, of course, everybody's nightmare is true false not given,
Right.
and so is mine. And the first page of reading, the first section was true false not given.
Wow.
I was little taken aback because I needed some time to get there, but then it was the first thing to sort. So I went on with the flow. And the first set of questions of 6 questions were true false not given, and then the paragraphs and complete sentences and all of everything was cool. And
Mhm.
then again there was another part of true false not given
Wow.
again. So on whole there were like some 12 to 14 questions on true
Was
false.
not given for different
It was
sections.
surprising to see. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But how
uh,
was it? How was the experience?
Experience was, honestly, I was taken aback, but then because you are in that zone, you wouldn't really want to spend much time worrying. So
True.
you will be you'll be like, you'll start working your mind and all of that. So it was fine, it was good.
Good, good.
um yeah,
And
it was good.
did the method we discussed during our class time
Yeah.
help, where you skim through the entire text and
Yes.
then look at the questions rather than uh, you know flipping the pages back and forth?
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. The methods help the
Okay.
skimming, scanning, and intense reading.
Right.
When I had like maybe when it was about the match these headings, I
Mm-hmm.
would look at the question. I would try to find out or highlight the keyword.
Correct.
So I would remember that keyword and
Mhm.
keep saying it my head, keep saying it
Okay.
in my head. And when I come to the page of paragraphs, I would subconsciously look for the
For
synonym
the
of that
key.
keyword.
Interesting.
So that really helped. I used this technique for the match the headings and the
Okay.
complete the sentences.
Right. Great.
It really worked. And
Nice.
then I did. I'm not really good at maybe I'm not really good at skimming, just skimming. I just can't do that.
Right.
Nothing goes into my head.
It doesn't
So I
register.
it doesn't register. So I focused on highlighting the keywords
Hmm.
and then do the intense reading.
Makes sense, right? Again, you're
Yeah.
highlighting the keywords. You have something there in
Yeah.
front of you. You
Yeah.
don't have to. It's not like running into an empty land and just going helter
Hmm.
skelter.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and I practiced intense reading. I used to read books, but then I stopped reading it again because of IELTS. I picked up on books. I
That's
was
something most people
reading.
need to
I
do.
was reading some rich English mythological books or
Okay,
history
okay.
mythological books because that also interests me. So
Interesting.
and then I was reading any random blogs or any articles,
Okay.
maybe the science blogs or the science or the medical blogs
Mm-hmm.
because of the COVID situation to get familiarized with different words used in different uh, sectors or areas.
Wow, okay. And again, reading, again, like you mentioned, it's such a dreadful thing for a lot of students because that's not a hobby for everybody, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So
Correct.
to sort of get tuned with the whole concept, it's important to pick up anything and everything that you
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
or even if you don't like, just to gain some knowledge, reading something always helps.
And I remember you telling me in our classes that, even if you're reading your office documents,
Right. You're
it
meant
is
to
it
do
is good.
only that as of now. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as you're reading, that is enough. It doesn't
Absolutely.
matter. It doesn't really matter if you're reading a book.
Correct.
Anything can be done. So
Correct.
even while I was reading my office documents, I used to make sure if I'm reading anything new,
Uh-huh.
if I can pick on any new word,
Mm-hmm.
or I used to Google, or I have a dictionary called Word Web,
Mm-hmm.
where I used to put in the word which I already know and try to see the synonyms or the antonyms of that word.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
even if I was familiar with words, I used to still check the alternative meanings or synonyms for it. That also really helped me.
That's nice. That's very nice. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. That's such a brilliant tip that you've given everybody
Yeah,
also, Vaishnavi.
and also for listening, because we need to get familiarized with different accents.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was, I installed an app called BBC Radio.
Mm-hmm.
So every morning, I used to listen to the radio. I mean, they used to have people in an art club talking to each other,
Okay.
group of people, or a radio jockey or the news reporter interviewing somebody.
Okay.
So there were different people speaking from different regions, because it is all virtual platform. They were also
Right.
sitting elsewhere and giving the interviews. So like that also, I got familiarized with different accents.
Okay. That's so nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I was not really making an effort to listen to everything, but then I used to work, and
Mhm.
this was running in the background. So
Correct.
I was kind of tailoring my mind, or making it accustomed to the different accents.
Nice. Nice. This is such a
So yeah,
wonderful tip again,
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and how was the writing module? What kind of question did you get in tasks one and two? Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
talk about that.
So writing
Writing
is
being like such a uh,
huge,
dreadful aspect.
dreadful thing. Seriously, I mean, writing just gives me what to say. I'm not even
Jitters.
getting the word. It panics me so much,
Yeah, it gives you
because
jitters.
yeah, yeah. But then this time I was like you also mentioned in our classes, to keep, like, to take off that fear of my mind, and then that you kind of made me comfortable during the sessions, and
Okay.
then we practiced a lot. And
Mhm.
after the classes also, I practiced a lot, and then I was frequently sending you the documents for your feedback and all.
Right.
So, and then I had a strategy or the technique, and thankfully we had our writing hackathon just a
Right.
week before my test. So
Correct.
it was really helpful. It all
Mhm.
fell in place, the preparation and everything, your classes, everything fell in
Correct.
place. So
I
so
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
so all those things helped. And on the test day, I may I tell you the question which
Please,
I
please, I would like to
received?
know so
Okay,
that that can be shared with the students also.
yeah. So as you know, I gave for the general
Mm.
IELTS. So the first one was the letter. So it was a formal letter, a
Mm-hmm.
letter to ex-employer, asking for reference letter, so
Mm-hmm.
you can apply to an international company which you're
Mm-hmm.
interested in. In
Okay.
that letter, we again have three questions. The
Correct.
first question was what job I was applying for in the international company.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing was the contributions which I made in my ex company.
Okay.
And third, requesting for the letter of reference to this ex employer.
Okay. 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 That's a
So
interesting one. Yeah.
yeah, and also Lavanya, if you remember, I wrote a similar letter and gave it for
Yes.
a feedback to you, right? The
Yes,
letter
I
for reference
remember.
thing.
You practiced a
Yeah,
formal letter. I remember that. Yeah.
yeah. So so that it was such a coincidence, but then the letter of reference which I practiced on was on a different theme.
Correct.
This was a different theme. However, the aspects like say my contributions,
Mm,
or talking about my personality or my me as a working professional,
correct.
and then requesting for an LOR, those words or those sentences, could you please write me a reference letter or
Right.
whatever. Because I practiced, I had those things in my head, so it was kind of, it didn't panic me. The question didn't panic me.
Great, great. And
Yeah.
I
And
guess it was just more like a synchronicity because you practiced it so much, you could sort of translate it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
I just had to change the theme and
Of course.
few things here and there, but
Nice.
yeah.
And what about
And
task
then
two?
task two, there was this question. Some people think there is less communication in families these days. Do you agree or disagree?
Mm-hmm.
Give reasons with some knowledge, some personal experience.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah, so I agreed to. I didn't want it to be in the middle where I agree and disagree. That was because I tried practicing essays with having that middle
Middle
opinion, but
ground,
then
yeah.
yeah, middle ground. But I was not able to do justice to my writing.
Okay.
So I thought I would either agree or I completely disagree. That
Okay.
I wanted to do it that way.
Okay.
So I completely agreed to this sentence, and then I
Okay.
built up my um,
Great. Your essay.
sentences based on our structure. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. And so it was definitely a relief, considering how it was earlier, the first time you spoke to me, you were quite nervous and
Yeah.
sort of would have run miles away from writing tasks. But I'm glad that this time for you, everything sort of fell in place, touch wood. And how was speaking? And what kind of questions did you get in each part?
Speaking, so in part A, they asked me about my job
Mm-hmm.
or what I like about my job,
Okay.
and if I am happy with my job, something about like the job satisfaction.
Okay.
So this part A was like mixture of different questions. So first
Okay.
was about the job, and then the
Okay.
follow-up question again based on the job, and
Okay.
then third was about if I liked history,
Right.
studying history,
Okay.
and then if I had read any recent book on history,
Okay. Okay.
or if I like movies based on history.
Again, something which, in general, you are somebody who likes
Yeah,
mythology and history
yeah,
related things.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if she asked me if I had been to a museum or what it is like to go to a museum.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so that was about part A.
Okay.
And
And what
then
kind of question did you get in part two and part three?
part three, they asked me if I ever used public transport
Okay.
and how was my experience.
Mm-hmm.
When did I use it? Where did I go? And who accompanied me?
Okay. Okay.
So I had time to make some notes.
Okay.
I cooked up a story, to
Okay.
be
Of course,
honest.
sometimes you can't help it, right?
Yeah, yeah, because I thought maybe I could talk about my commute or maybe journey from home to college, but
Mm-hmm.
I was not really able to generate any ideas there.
Right.
So I cooked up a story saying that along with my friends, I used public transport to go to another city to
Okay.
explore some place, but then there was a breakdown in the middle
Okay.
of the night.
Okay.
So in at that point, I made friends with the other passengers. So that whole
Nice.
night was adventurous.
Okay.
And finally reaching after reach and finally when we reached to the destination, we thought that all the hustle and bustle, it was all worth it.
Right. Right.
So
Interesting.
something like that.
Okay. And in part three, did you get, any questions related to part two, or was it a little?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was based on the public transport only. So
Okay.
in part three, it was more like what do you think about public transport in rural areas?
Okay.
And then do you think government should do something about it?
Right.
And do you think there is a traffic? There is a lot of congestion. What you say? Congestion in the traffic or on the roads, and why do you think it is?
Okay. Okay.
And and then do you think people should use public transport to whenever and take the ownership to use public transport rather than using their own vehicles? And why
Right.
do you think they should do so?
Okay. Okay.
And also the last closing question was, do you think they should maintain some, they can accelerate or speed go with speed or something like that?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
yeah,
Nice. So overall, it seems like it was a fairly good examination for you.
yeah,
But I want to wait until you get your results. I believe you'll get it after 13 days, if I'm not wrong.
yes, yes,
Paper-based examination that you gave.
yeah,
Well, I'm sure you've done well for all the hard work that you put in. And thank you so much, Vaishnavi. Yes, fingers crossed for me as well. Yeah. Mm, thank you so much for, explaining in detail the kind of process you used and,
yeah,
talking about your experience in the examination hall and your entire test as such. I'm sure
yeah,
this will definitely help a lot of students and also help
yeah.
students sort of change their mindset,
Mhm.
that you have to really work and put in that effort now because you're investing in future. uh,
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Vaishnavi, for this.
So I want to close
Yes, please.
by telling that. So when I started preparing for the second time,
Mm-hmm.
I was I was aggressive in practicing.
Mm.
Aggressive in sense passionate, and I was like, this is like a do or die situation. I
Yes,
have to get it this time.
yes,
I was somewhere. I was like, take thinking this as the last opportunity I will ever get on earth.
correct, correct.
But then and then I realized that it was not help. That mindset was not helping me. It is okay to be. It is okay that that I don't want to give it the next time. I want to give my 100%.
Hmm.
But however, I was somewhere fearing, what if I fail?
Correct.
Uh, yeah, but then throughout the process and throughout the preparation time, I made up my mind. It's okay even if I don't get my desired score this
Hmm.
time. I'll take a month's break, and then I'll again prepare for an entire month, and then again I'll reappear, because that is what I'm dreaming about, dreaming for.
Correct.
That is what I want my future to be. I don't
Right.
want to compromise on that. So it's okay even if it takes like
A couple of
couple of more retests. So
but now that you've said that, the mindset was like that only because you obviously don't want to have that fear or stress of rejection and then not work
mm,
well towards it.
yeah, correct.
Irrespective of thinking that, hey, it's okay if I don't get my
It's okay.
score, I will practice next time. You still need to invest your time and
Yes,
your
correct,
present time and
correct.
work towards it and give it your best shot, right?
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yes.
At the same time, I was not having any plan B. I was not trying to have any safety net. It's
Correct.
okay, I'll give it next time kind of a
Right,
mindset.
right,
It's like I'm going to give my 100%, but if I don't get it, I'm not going to get disheartened. I'm
right,
still going to have the same kind of motivation, and then do something, try to do something different the next time to
correct.
get what I desire for. So,
Right. And, now the kind of practice you've put in and the kind of work, hard work that you've put in, I really, really pray that you get through this time. In fact, that's something I wish for every student.
yeah,
There should always be that kind of space you give yourself, that kind of push you give yourself that, hey, I want to clear in the first attempt, but it's okay if you don't.
it's
However,
okay.
my prayers and my best wishes are with you, and
Thank
I'm
you.
waiting for your result as well, as eagerly as you are waiting for it.
Thank you so much, Lavanya, and thank you so much for your help and for the Ielts group and the hackathon group. It all really helped, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for that.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Vaishnavi, for also being a great part of that community and, constantly focusing on what you have to do. It was like your end
Yeah,
goal, and hey, I'm going to do it. And you also
yeah,
participated in every activity by giving examples for the word of the day,
yeah.
which were put up by Sharanya and Janani. And
Yeah, I'm so thankful to Sharanya and Janani,
thank you. I will
to
definitely
your to
continue.
you and your team. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vaishnavi. And
thank
see
you.
you soon. Let's keep in touch.
Yeah,
Right. All
yeah,
right.
definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lavanya. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.